Women who gave nice guys a chance. How did it work out? He seemed a bit shy but goofy, smart and genuinely kind when he approached me, so I agreed to go out and we hit it off at first. Deep, meaningful conversation about our personal challenges, him quickly meeting my friends and me being the first person he called after a family emergency. We were both pretty vulnerable, but things were seemingly progressing somewhat well. One day he was on Tinder in bed next to me, and when called on it, he said that dating me had made him realize that he needed more confidence and experience with women and thus needed to date a lot more different people, but that he only fucked the others at their houses, so I was obviously his no one. I freaked, cried and broke things off. He called me the next day to casually ask me out to the new Hunger Games movie. I got an STD screening the next week. He harassed me at work for another 6 months. Smile. All the guys I have known or dated that felt it necessary to label themselves nice guys turned out to absolutely awful humans. Either they had a bad temper, horrible morals, or just didn't want to take no for answer. One even turned out to be an emotionally abusive alcoholic. The actual nicest guys I've dated or called friends were the ones who didn't feel the need to label themselves nice guy. In fact, the best of them usually warned me and others that they were not all that nice, but always turned out to be the sweetest, most understanding, appreciative, and kind guys I've had the pleasure of knowing. The people who are worried about being not nice are usually the ones most conscious of how they're acting. That is true and a great way to look at it. I always found it kind of ironic. I'm not really all that nice. Followed by, are you okay? How are you feeling? Can I do anything to help? ... or just dropping everything to come save the day for whatever minor or major tragedy had befallen me or another woman. Some of these were self-proclaimed bad boys, and people still wonder why some of us swoon over that bad boy type. My boyfriend dropped everything to take care of me this week when I was having intense muscle spasms in my shoulders and neck. I thanked him yesterday and his response was, wait, for what? I didn't do anything. He sees the things he does as normal and needed, which is true. Someone was going to have to get me hot packs from the store. Someone needed to help me do my laundry. He's right, honestly. In the grand scheme of things, he was just doing the right thing. What he doesn't realize is most people wouldn't give enough of a shit to do the right thing. He doesn't comprehend how special he is. My husband left work as soon as he found out I got mugged so he can come and pick me up. I was also in a car accident recently, and he has been massaging me daily and wearing latex gloves in order to apply some heavy-duty topical pain reliever that leaves his hands stinging for 5 minutes afterwards. He has been helping me out with my chores because of the whiplash. Even though he has his own chores, he already did a little more than half of the chores at our place, on top of cooking for both of us. Whenever I thank him, he always smiles and says, "Of course, no need to thank me, but you're so sweet." When I had my first ocular migraine, I was at my desk at work in the Loop, downtown, in Chicago, and basically started tripping balls out of nowhere. My boss called my husband, who was at his grad school a couple of miles away, and my husband literally ran to me. He said he checked Google Maps and realized that traffic would make public transit take a while, and he has these gorgeous, tree-like muscular legs, as if he's descended from warriors who were designed to charge uphill swinging battle axes or something. And he got to me crazy fast. Then he bundled me into a cab and brought me to my doctor, who had been called and was waiting for me. It was the sexiest thing during one of the scariest hours of my life. And, similarly, when I later thanked him for dropping everything to run to my rescue, he was like, "Well, yeah, of course, you're my dot. Be still my heart." Actually, you know what? Screw messing around on Reddit, I'm going to go bang my legitimately nice guy now. My ex was a self-proclaimed asshole, but was super nice most of the time. I asked how he could be an asshole when he did nice stuff for me, and he said all that stuff was done for selfish reasons cause he liked me. At one point the relationship went sour and he didn't really care for me anymore or wanted to spend time with me. When I confronted him about that, he said I'd been warned because I knew all along that he's an asshole. Yup. This is what my GF tells me. I always chalk it up to how my parents raised me. It just makes sense to look out for your fellow humans. She always tells me I'm the nicest person ever, but I'm just in my head like I agree that I have decent qualities. But there's no way that's true. Cheers to good upbringings. Had an ex who was always baffled when I did things for her. She'd thank me profusely for saving her food when I had some. Once she left her luggage at a bus stop when she came to visit me, and the bus depot told her to come back for it at 4 a.m. and she was floored when I insisted on going with her. But to me it wasn't an option to not go with her. She's tiny and I wasn't gonna let her sit outside in the freezing cold at 4 a.m. at a seedy bus station by herself. Plus my mom would have killed me if I'd even dreamed of doing that. Had a nice guy on Tinder who didn't make it to date for the following reason. He lived in a different city, so he insisted on an all-day date. Lives about 50 minutes away. I said I'm not comfortable subscribing to 8+ hours with someone I hadn't met yet. But he kept insisting I had to make it worth his while to come through. At this point I said I can't see it going anywhere and it was putting me under pressure, and that made me feel a little uncomfortable. That realistically, it may not work out, so let's just leave it. So then he says he's gonna book a hotel and come through. Explain that's sweet, but it's making me uncomfortable. So he says I can have the bed and he'll be a gentleman and have the sofa. I explained that he seems to have the wrong idea. I'm not going to a hotel with him and I feel uncomfortable. I don't want to meet. He continues to press, saying he is nice guy. He won't make me have sex if I don't want to. I say I don't want to. I don't want to go to a hotel. I don't want to meet. It's too much pressure, and for someone I've not met, I feel uneasy. Thanks. Good luck with your search. But apparently I need to give him a chance. He's willing to come all this way. I say number. He keeps finding new things to message me. Uses my phone number to add my Snapchat and says he can see what street I'm on. At this point I start feeling very uneasy. I didn't know I had location on. I block him. He messaged on something else, so I say I've got back with my ex. I see my ex a lot. We are good friends. He's happy to have a word. So he starts going on about my ex had his chance and blew it. He is a much nicer guy than my ex. He will treat me like a princess and worship me, and my ex has blown it, etc., etc. I tell him this is my choice. Thanks and goodbye. Please don't try to message me on anything else as it's not appropriate and I've already blocked on 3 things. Fast forward 4 months and I move cities. I get an Instagram message. It's the nice guy saying he's seen my on Bumble in this new city, and even though we haven't matched, it must not have worked out with my ex. He's using Instagram and can see I'm near the station. Is that even a thing? And we should go on that date that I owe him. Blocked again. Had a friend stay over that night. I also have a guy who didn't make it to a date. We met on OKC and texted for a couple weeks. I was working a lot at the time and was trying to fit him into my schedule. One night he calls me, which I found weird because we didn't talk on the phone up to that point and I'm antisocial now, and I text him and say sorry, I'm taking care of a sick friend, what's up? We text back and forth and I end up saying yeah, I feel awful for getting him sick. That's why I'm hosting and taking care of him. I had the flu the week before. He flipped TF out. Called me a slut, a whore, went on for about 15-20 texts accusing me of everything under the sun and saying how could you do this when I've been nothing but nice to you. Once he wore himself out, I responded something to the effect of, it was nice getting to know you, but I'm going to pass on a date. Your reaction without asking questions is a huge red flag for me when we haven't even met yet. Best of luck to you. And for the record, my friend is gay, which I happily could have told you if you asked. I shit you not, he texted me the next. He texted me demanding a date. When I said, are you fucking kidding? He said, go out with me so then you can say we've met. No thanks, bud. Went on and on about what a great, compassionate guy he was. He was actually just your garden variety, abusive psycho. He once said to me, I wish you had been abused so you would realize how great I am. What the fuck? Who says that? He went out bowling with his friends and then when he came home he complained to me that for the first time in his life a hot girl had hit on him while he was out, and he was unlucky enough to actually have a girlfriend. He seemed genuinely sad he had to turn her down, and expected me to be grateful he did it. I've had this happen to me too. The sad part is it was a complete lie. He just wanted me to feel like I had competition. Dude, please. You know, now that you mention it, I wouldn't be surprised if this hot girl didn't exist and he just wanted to show me what a nice guy he is for turning her down. He seemed genuinely shocked that I was angry instead of grateful.